In this package, as Akwa Ibom State clocks 28, Governor Udom Emmanuel urges the people to embrace the path of moral transformation and spiritual rebirth. Akwa Ibom State launches Dakada campaign. President Buhari to address the 70th session of United Nations General Assembly. We have details of these and others. Good morning and thank you for joining us. This is the news at dawn. My name is Mandu Isenobon. Governor Udom Emmanuel has called on Akwa Ibom citizens to embrace the path of moral transformation and spiritual rebirth. In a radio and television broadcast to mark the 20th anniversary of the state's creation, the state's chief executive urged the people to chart a new course for the future. Colonel Edemefreti reports that the governor used the occasion to express appreciation to former governors of the state for laying solid blocks of development that have turned the state from rural backwater to a modern state. His report.
Spirit of creativity in order to emerge with a new Akwa Ibom identity, which he listed to include being bold without being obnoxious, confident without being condescending, self-assured without being arrogant, and loyal and deeply aspirational. Mr. Udom Emmanuel, who observed that times have changed, had, after reflecting on the birth history of the state and its progression, expressed that the uniqueness of this year's anniversary celebration is the launching of the Dakada campaign. The campaign, he said, is a clarion call for all to rise to their true potentials of greatness, spiritual rebirth, moral transformation, and reorientation, with a firm belief that with God all things are possible.
28 years later, we have evolved from a capital city that was for all a glorified village to a modern metropolis with perhaps the most modern road network in the whole nation. We have gone from a stage where the people looked for now to a land where people now bring with infectious air of confidence. We have moved from a place where people carry hopelessness as a badge to a land where they now glow with the can-do spirit.
Mr. Udom Emmanuel, who had judged himself to have worked tirelessly to keep faith with the covenant he made at assumption of office as a servant leader, enumerated his successes to include rehabilitation of the peacock paint industry, groundbreaking for construction of industries, training of youths, rehabilitation of 2 wards in St. Luke's Hospital, Enoa, and an erection of a new Story building named after Dr. Anne Ward, as well as undertaking of constructions of 137 kilometers of roads, which includes urban roads in Eked, Oron, and Obodokar local government areas. Others are rehabilitation and commissioning of water reticulation and headworks at Ifatai in Uyo and Idu in Uran local government areas, while 3 more are still being worked on to ensure availability of potable water and raise of electricity supply in the state, with hope to attain steady supply soon.
Today, barely 4 months into the life of this administration, we have written the Akwa Ibom story. Work is ongoing on 137 kilometers of road, courtesy of our administration. Yesterday, I commissioned water reticulation and headworks in Ifatai and Idura, in Uyo and Uran government area respectively.
The governor congratulated his wife Martha and the entire Akwa Ibom women for a successful launch of the Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Program FAREP, which projects, he noted, fits into the overall social re-engineering that his administration is currently engaged in. He congratulated all Akwa Ibom people and residents of the state on the anniversary and prayed God's blessings on all. Colonel Adam Efreti reporting.
The people of the state yesterday gathered at the State Banquet Hall, Uyo, as part of activities to mark the 20th anniversary of the state. Tagged the People's Forum, the event attracted people from all walks of life, including state chairmen of 23 other political parties, and featured launching of the state's creed by Governor Domi Emmanuel. Colonel Adam Efreti again reports.
The main items on the 10-point program of the event were an address by the governor and his interaction with the people. Governor Domi Emmanuel, who presented his scorecard to the people with success stories, started with expression of gratitude to God for the creation of the state and the growth it has recorded within the 28 years of its existence. He thanked all those who contributed to its development, especially the former governors. Mr. Udomi Emmanuel said, without deviating from ideals of the state's forebears, he has since assumption of office worked on the foundation laid with his promise to sustain superior development as its pointer.
I recall that during the process leading to my emergence as governor, I did promise the people of the state of my desire to sustain superior performance. I promised job creation, human empowerment, industrialization, and wealth creation. I promise to take the people of the state to a new pedestal in democratic governance. Today, I make bold to say that barely less than 4 months into the life of this administration, things are turning around for the better.
Governor Domi Emmanuel, who exposed the people to the blessings that God has accorded them, the reason for their being indigenous of the gods named after state, led them into launching Dakada, a campaign for reorientation of Akwa Ibom people from old ways of servitude to the new spirit of ones conscious of their capabilities.
Akwa Ibomites, rise to chant a new cause for us. Our children, rise to the faith that one day we shall become as a great people of a great state with great minds. Rise to the faith that all these are possible and many more. I am Akwa Ibomite. I rise to the faith of
The tone for the event was set by the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Nyeka Nomana, who described the event as something new and unique. On Dakada, Mr. Umana said it was an existential change initiative which calls for conscious living for the realization of a greater state and its people.
For this event, so if you are sitting behind, don't just sit, look behind your seat. You will see a blimp. When you see that blimp, please read that blimp. You will see what the new Bible is all about. It's about seizing the opportunity. It's about thinking anew. It's about doing new things. It's about standing up to be counted as great people in a great city.
Participants at the event asked questions on issues of concern to them, which were rightly addressed by the governor. Colonel Adam Efreti reporting.
September 23 every year is always set aside to mark the anniversary of the creation of Akwa Ibom State. As part of the event, a carnival float went around some major streets in Uyo. The float tagged Dakada with participants dressed with t-shirts was later led to Goswill Akwa Ibom International Stadium by Governor Domi Emmanuel. AINOPOL reported that though normal activities took place in the Uyo metropolis, the roads were not as busy as usual, while the security agents were on different locations to protect lives and property. A report.
Uyo capital city is always a busy town where motorists, pedestrians and businessmen parade every day. But for the celebration of Ibom Day, vehicles were scanty while few people were seen on the major roads. Markets were still on operation while stores, kiosks and other business centers were seen open with low patronage. Some traders at the market said they forgot the day. Some promised to join the celebration later, while others said they have to make ends meet despite the celebration. On their view about the keyword in this year's celebration, Dakada, the market women promised to join hands with government to better the state. In line with the celebration, the railed pavement were given a new look. Getting to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Boulevard, the story was different as men, women, groups, and passers-by seen were on different uniforms ranging from t-shirts, wrappers, blouses, which had tags Dakada on them. The traders at the entrance of the stadium were busy selling as the mammoth crowd that filed in bought one thing or the other. What added color to the scene were vans decorated with Dakada sign with people on a carnival float parading the capital city from 8 o'clock in the morning. At about 2:30 p.m., the governor's entourage was spotted making his way into the stadium through the boulevard. At the entrance of the stadium, Governor Udomi Emmanuel stopped and joined the large crowd in a carnival float into the stadium. There were many sight scenes in the stadium, but the one that caught the eye of the AKBC-45 crew were the 3 designed aircraft inside the stadium. On what is expected about the day, the commissioners for culture and tourism as well as that of rural development said,
and for the past 28 years, the fruit that actions of our forebearer has yielded is a result of this our celebration today. And I must say that I'm excited, much as I do believe every other Akwa Ibom person here and in diaspora is excited and happy to be part and parcel of this day.
I feel very proud that my state is 28. I feel very proud that we are in the spirit of moral reawakening. In Dakada, we find a consciousness for a rebirth.
The celebration continues inside the stadium. Though normal activities is still going on in town, on road leads to Akpabio International Stadium to commemorate the birth of Akwa Ibom State. In Uyo Metropolis, Eyagenopo.
Now this brings us to a break. We'll be back shortly. Please join us again.
There is a land of great beauty and wonderful people. Here, Mary Slessor called home until she passed on to greater glory. Here, Lord Lugard lived and administered Nigeria. The hills roll like the waves, and the waves rise like the hills. A land named after God, Akwa Ibom State, the land of promise. Welcome to Akwa Ibom, the land of promise.
Thank you for your time. The State Police Command says everything has been put in place for the security of lives and property during the long public holiday. Briefing newsmen in his office, the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Murtala Mani, said officers and men of the command are ready to confront any challenge and called on the public to cooperate with the police to achieve hitch-free holidays. Tom Monday has details.
The police boss who described Akwa Ibom State as relatively peaceful said it's not leaving anything to chance, especially during the long holidays in view of the influx of visitors to the state. He disclosed that plans to secure the state during this period was put together about 3 weeks back. Mr. Mani said there will be high police visibility during the period, including the remaining ember months, and emphasized that the police can only succeed if the public supplies the police with needed information. On the activities of vigilante groups, the police commissioner said the operations are in line with the vision of the police high command, so long as they operate within the ambits of the law. He said that it was in line with the policy of community policing that he embarked on visits to traditional rulers to seek their partnership since they are closer to the people. Mr. Mani said the collaboration with the traditional institution is yielding results.
For us to serve the public better,
which is our target, which is our aim, we need to collaborate with this type of organizations. But at the same time, we should make sure that the people we're interacting with are people of impeccable character. Those that we have doubts about their operations and what have you, we edge them out. Because one of the visions of the present police administration is, community policing, getting to the grassroots. And by, fraternizing with these people, we'll be able easily to get to the grassroots. So we're working with them. But if somewhere along the line we find that your character is questionable, we do away with you.
The State Police Commissioner renewed his warning to policemen to use only vehicles with police identification during operations. The Inspector General of Police emphasized he is serious about this and that he will not fail to arrest any policeman who flouts the order. He advised the public to look out for policemen who use vehicles without police identification and to report such cases.
Any vehicle seen without police logo and what have you, I've already directed. It was from the air, we send signal, everything. So, if you're found, you're on your own. We'll get you arrested and we'll do the right thing. If you see any such type of vehicles claiming that they are policemen on patrol, please inform us and you will see what we will do.
Mr. Mani also advised the public to be security conscious and to know the people they interact with or let out information to. Tam Monday, reporting.
It is exciting whenever a new child is born into a family, in that children are seen as God's gift to humanity. To appreciate God for the gift, parents in the Christian setting take their children to church for dedication and to seek divine direction on their child's path. This may have been informed the decision of the Deputy Director News Editorial with News Directorate of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. Hussein Kanam, and wife of Onime, to take their baby girl Precious to church for dedication. The dedication service, which was attended by colleagues, friends and family members of the couple, took place at Akwa Ibom Church, Ikod Okubo of Fort Uyo local government area. Paul captured the mood of the service for AKBC 45 News.
Dedicating a child acknowledges God's sovereignty not only over the child but also the parents. When parents present their children for dedication, it is a way of asking for grace and wisdom in carrying out their responsibilities, as well as praying that the children might trust Jesus as their Savior. Before the actual ceremony, it is crucial that pastors counsel parents about the meaning of dedication, taken mostly from the Bible in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 to 7. In the case of Precious parents, Hussein and Afonime, this charge was put to them by the officiating minister, Reverend David Udo, while the promise to raise the baby in the fear of the Lord.
Do you not promise that as far as you are able, you will seek to bring up this child to reverence and to fear the Lord?
After the charge, the Reverend David Udo prayed God's blessing upon Precious and her family, rebuked untimely death, and prophesied prosperity into the baby's life.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
In their words of thanksgiving, the parents of Precious, Hussein and Afonime Kanam, as well as their two children, poured out their hearts to their Creator in a song, "Great is Thy Faithfulness," and were later joined by friends in dance. Earlier, Mr. Hussein Kanam took the only Bible reading in the service, which was taken from Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 to 20.
And I will give you the key of the kingdom of heaven. And whosoever
Preaching at the service on the theme, Who is Jesus to You?, the officiating minister, the Reverend David Udo, said the problem of Christians is that they are practicing religion instead of knowing who really Jesus is. The Reverend Udo noted that when the faithful acknowledge the sovereign power of Jesus, they will be strong and do exploits.
You will do excellently well as a father, as a mother, as a family, to give this child godly training.
High points of the service were presentation of gifts and certificates to Baby Precious by the church and Destiny Choir, while the parents of the baby donated a gift in memory of Precious to the church. At a reception which followed immediately, guests, friends, family members, and well-wishers of Precious parents were treated to continental, national, and local delicacies while the live band entertained the gathering. Also on hand to entertain the crowd was a volunteer dancer addressed in occasions as Udon Nanayim. Iyagenopo report.
Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Susan Ekanam there for the gift of Precious. Now we go to the national foreign scenes. President Muhammadu Buhari is to address the 70th session of the United Nations General Assembly holding in New York on Monday, 28th September 2015. Also, President Buhari will address the Assembly on violent extremism. Mercy Ekere tells us more on this segment.
Monday, September 28, 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari will be addressing the 70th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. The President's advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, said that the President will hold a series of meetings with notable world leaders, including President Barack Obama of the US, President Francois Hollande of France, British Prime Minister David Cameron, and the UN scribe Ban Ki-moon. President Buhari is scheduled to deliver Nigeria's statement and will also address the summit on violent extremism. The President will also participate in a meeting with the African Union's Peace and Security Council, as well as the launch of an updated global health strategy for women and children. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has warned that the country's economy could slip into recession by next year if the federal government does not take proactive steps to revive key sectors of the economy. The CBN Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has noted that the economy of the country has remained fragile due to some factors such as the slow growth rate recorded by Nigeria's gross domestic product in the second quarter of this year as compared to that of 2014. The CBN Governor explained that the impact on the non-payment of salaries in most states led to the reduction on consumer demand. He also added that the pressure in the foreign exchange market and the decline in oil prices was yet another factor. After last week's military takeover in Burkina Faso, the interim president, Michael Kafando, has said he is back in charge and that the civilian rule has been restored in the country. The coup leaders, headed by General Gilbert Diendere, have returned to the barracks after signing a deal with the army. The meeting of the West African heads of state and government in a show of solidarity for Burkina Faso was instrumental in restoring peace in the country. Catholic Pontiff Pope Francis is in the United States on his first visit. On arrival, he was welcomed by President Barack Obama and his family, as well as Vice President Joe Biden. The Pope is expected to address the U.S. Congress, where he will speak on several issues, including climate change, income inequality, the definition of marriage, immigration, and religious freedom. The Pope will also visit New York and Philadelphia, where he will hold an open-air mass with 1.5 million people expected in attendance.
We'd like to inform you that you can also watch AKBC television news online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC450 or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And here is a top story of the bulletin. As Akwa Ibom State clocks 28, Governor Domi Manuwa has urged the people of the state to embrace the path of moral transformation and spiritual rebirth. Governor Domi Manuwa made the call in a radio and television broadcast to mark the 28th anniversary of the state's creation. As a package, we'll bring you more news at noon. We look forward to having your company again, and here is wishing you a very fine day. Good morning.